why people think that learning the Japanese language is hard, and this is often just a limiting belief that most people have because they are not confident. And but yeah, I mean, if you just have like 4 to 5 hours of your day free, then you can learn actually the language. Like this is what I'm doing right now, and I think that in probably in a year and a half, I will have a pretty good level of the language, and I will probably be able to even do videos in the language. So yeah, why you should listen to me? Well, I mean, I'm studying actually the Japanese language right now. So as you can see, there's this book here, which is called Remembering the Kanji, and in this book you have to create histories to help yourself remember the language. So, for example, there's all of my blogs here, and in these blogs and in these notes, you can see that I have like probably 500. um, You can see 500 here, but I actually have more than 1,000 histories made just to learn how the characters work in this case. And I actually have a lot of anime downloaded, which is actually raw. Like this is not anime that is translated, and I have to watch it, of course, in Japanese with subtitles in Japanese to apply immersion, of course. The Japanese rating system, and the Japanese rating system has three types of like characters. There's first the kanji, as you can see here. There's then the hiragana, and there's then the katakana. The kanji are thousands of intricate characters representing words and concepts derived from Chinese writing. In the kanjis, for example, there's a lot of kanji. In this image right here, you can see there's kanjis like, let's say, this one here means love, and it's actually pronounced as aisuru, love. Then there's this one here, which is pronounced as yume. Yume is dream. There's this one here, which is one of the easier ones, which is water, and is pronounced misu. I think it's water. I don't know that much, but I think it is. I know this is everlasting. This is eternity. This means eternity, which I don't know how it's pronounced. Then there's this one, which is something fun or happiness, and is pronounced as tanoshimi. Tanoshimi. This one here. And yeah, there's things like, for example, this one, which is to talk. There's this one, which is power, and it's pronounced as chikara. Well, in actually the Japanese writing system has those kanji, which are actually characters that represent a meaning. And actually, how do you learn what is the meaning of the kanji, or how they represent the meaning of the kanji? Well, actually, in this book, in this book down here, like remembering the kanji explains to you how they work. Like, for example, there are kanjis that have radicals. Radicals is literally the, like, let's you say, the small part of the kanji itself. In these kanjis, you can see that they are not like something weird. They have forms and things, you know. For example, in the kanji of dream, they have, for example, this drawing here is represented is probably an eye, you know. This drawing here is an eye. This drawing here is actually a crown. Like, you can actually memorize those things as that, and then convey that meaning into a story. And then this drawing here is means evening. This drawing here means flower, for example, and then we have four meanings to convey in a one story itself. We have flower, we have eyes, we have crown, and we have evening. For example, there's a flower in my eyes whenever I go to uh, whenever I go to take a nap in the evening. and in the and then I dream about something, and that something is me wearing a crown and being the king of, like, that you can convey everything, and you actually can learn these kanjis pretty easily, at least their meaning, not their pronunciation, pretty easily if you use follow the method of uh, this guy right here, which is called James Heisig. And yeah, that's it. That's all of it of the kanji. Then there's the hiragana. The hiragana is just a phonetic script used for native Japanese words and grammar particles. And then there's the katakana, is a syllabic script used for foreign loanwords and onomatopoeia. And as you can see here in the hiragana or katakana, you can see that of course you don't understand anything about them, but the hiragana and katakana are actually the easy part of the language. Like, for example, there's the katakana, which of course, as you saw, they describe only the loan words of foreign languages. For example, there's a lot of foreign words from English actually that are used in this case in the Japanese language. There's words like a restaurant, which in Japanese they are pronounced as restaurant, 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 restaurant. Like you can see that, like, they're actually from English. Then there's words, for example, if you watch a bit of baseball, you will know that some of the defense positions are catcher, are first base, second base, third base. Well, I actually was watching an anime of baseball, and in this anime they pronounce catcher as kyacha, kyacha, or kacha. Then the first base as fasto, which is first base, fasto. Then there's the second base, which is pronounced as secando. Then there's this, and then the third base is pronounced as sado, which is third base, sado. You know, like, it's pretty fun to learn this kind of words and see how Japanese people pronounce them, and it's actually easy, of course, if you know English. So yeah. Well, as you can see, the complexity of the writing system is not that complex, because I just explained to you that this actually everything that you see here on these characters has a meaning. So it's not that difficult. Honestly, it's not that fucking difficult. Everything has a meaning. Then there's the grammatical structure. While the grammar follows a subject, object, verb, pattern, like, this says that it follows a subject. It follows a subject, but it actually does not. Like, it never follows a subject. Like, a sentence in the Japanese language can be complete if you just have a verb. If you just have a verb, then the grammatical structure of uh, the grammatical structure of the sentence is complete if you just have a fucking verb. So don't pay much attention to this. But this actually can differ from many Western languages, of course. It can be learned through immersion, which is the method that I employ. And yeah, that's it. Then we have the pronunciation challenges, which, yeah, like, this can be. I'm not going to argue with this, because um, this is pretty like subjective, and it's difficult for people of different tongues. For example, I speak Japanese. I speak Spanish, and as you can see, like, I can pronounce these kanjis here easily because I speak Japanese, and for me, it's not that difficult, the pronunciation system. For example, there's these kanjis here, like yume. You could, if you are an English speaker, you could actually pronounce it as yume or yume or things like that. Then there's Aisuru. You could pronounce Aisuru like Yasuru or Suru. Like, there's things like that, but for me at least, it's not that difficult because I'm a Spanish speaker, which is actually one of the languages that benefits from the pronunciation from the pronunciation of the Japanese language. So yeah, like for me, at least for me, it's not that difficult to pronounce the language. But at least for you, if you are an English speaker, then it can be actually difficult. The Japanese vocabulary, well, as you can see, they have kanji-based words. These are actually just the kanji itself. Like they are the kanji itself, but a combination of like two of these ones can actually mean something. I think I don't know actually, but well, and there's a I don't know if some of if whatever of these one are combined, but they probably are in a word itself. But yeah, like I don't know exactly I don't know, but yeah, they are kanji based words. Actually, I'm going to go to this right here. Well, no, just forget it. Like you have kanji based words. Many Japanese words are derived from Chinese characters, and which actually this adds depth and complexity to the language, which I think it does not, because as I explained to you, it just does not. Then there's the long words, as I explained to you, like there are words derived from English and other languages. Then there's homonyms, words with the same pronunciation but different meanings, known as homonyms, are common in Japanese and require careful context analysis because Japanese is a pretty is a language that is pretty as what can you say here, like they are pretty context based. It's a context based language. So yeah, like yeah, it's just a context based language. Then there's the honorific language. If you're an anime watcher, then you know that the honorifics or the education system um on the Japanese language on Japan in general, the honorific language on Japan in general is pretty like respectful and humble, and well as well, like the education system in Japan is respectful. Well, then the language as well needs to be respectful with the same people. So yeah, that's actually all of it. And if you are interested on how I am learning Japanese or how I learned English, or even like how did I get in shape, maybe if you are interested in that, then go to check the description and contact me on my Gmail or Instagram.